Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So before I dive into today's video, I want to just talk about the fact that the majority of you that do watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to my channel. So if you've gained any value from my videos, then do subscribe. It also enables my videos to go out and reach more people that actually need help when it comes to buying their first residential property or their first investment properties. It'll mean a lot. It'll only take a second, and yeah, much appreciated. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about buying your first property and the fact that it is hard, it is a challenge, but in the long term, it is worth it. And I want to just talk about my experience as well, buying my first residential property and also buying my first investment property as well. And I want to talk about the challenges that I faced. My first property I purchased in 2017. So this is my residential property that I still live in today, based here in Gillingham. For me, it wasn't actually trying to find the property that actually stressed me out. I actually quite enjoyed actually looking for properties, looking at different properties. It was when I actually had a property offer accepted, that's when the stress and anxiety really kicked in. And I think for me at the time, I was quite young, I was 25 years old, and I didn't really know much about buying property. I was kind of going with the flow. So I was speaking to people at work, getting recommendations on a mortgage broker that I can use, getting recommendations on solicitors that I could use. And these were from people that had just purchased their residential property. It was really just seeking counsel from them that I was able to actually plod along and move forward. If I'm being honest, the buying process, especially when it came to my residential property, it did affect my mental health quite a bit. I was stressed quite a lot. I was anxious quite a lot. And it was affecting my sleep as well. And I think it was just because I've never done it before. And also, it did take quite long as well. I had this property, the offer accepted in May of 2017, and I completed at the back end of September of 2017. So I remember it took like 4.5, nearly 5 months from offer to completion. That was a stressful period for me. And since then, buying this property has been fruitful for me because it's gone up in value quite a lot. You know, I purchased it for £208,000 in 2017, and now it's worth anywhere between £280,000 to £300,000. So there's been quite a bit of capital growth, and I've been able to release equity from this property twice, and it's enabled me to buy my buy-to-let here in Gillingham, and then also 4 properties up north in Halifax as well, the block of 4 flats. So it's worked out well in the long run, but in the moment, it was stressful. If you're watching this video and you're thinking about buying your first residential property, you know, you're thinking about buying your first investment property, it will be challenging because you've not done it before. But don't let it scare you away, because in the long run, chances are it will be worth it. Now, even on my first investment property, that was pretty stressful as well. However, it was a different kind of stress. It took a lot longer for me to actually find that property. So with my residential, it only took maybe a couple of weeks to a couple of months, I believe, if I'm just remembering correctly, maybe like 2 months for me to actually find the residential property that I put in offer and I got accepted. Whereas with my first buy-to-let, it took me 1.5 years to actually find a property that I liked and get an offer accepted. And then it took another 5 months for that property to actually exchange and complete. So that whole process of trying to find properties, searching up and down Kent, was quite strenuous. At times I did feel like giving up, but I just kept going. I just kept believing, you know, I kept viewing and viewing. And eventually I was able to find, you know, a 2-bed flat here in Gillingham. Now, the buying process was a little bit better because I understood a bit more of what kind of went into it. But again, there was differences, right? Because here, I'm buying a property now for the first time under a limited company. Whereas when I was buying my residential property, of course, I was under my own name. And also here, lenders are more concerned about the rent that they're going to be receiving as opposed to your income. There's key differences that happen as well. So although the buying process when it came to my first investment property wasn't as stressful as my first residential property, there was still a level of stress there as well. And it's interesting actually because I look at my latest purchase, which is the block of 4 flats last year, and that was the least stressful. I went from offer accepted to exchange and completion in 3 months. And with my first buy-to-let, that took about 5 months. And of course, like I mentioned, my residential property, that took 4.5, 5 months as well. And I think the reason why I was quicker with my block of 4 flats is because I knew what I was doing. Number one, I knew what I had to get ready. I knew to set the expectations with the solicitors from early. I also ensured that I used good solicitors as well that my mentor had actually used. So that helped me as well. And because of that, relationship, I was then able to ensure that everybody was working on board and everybody was moving with speed. So I say this to say that if you're looking to buy your first residential property, will it be stressful? Will it be challenging? Most likely, yes. If you're looking to purchase your first investment property, even if you have or haven't purchased your residential property, it will still bring some level of challenge and some level of stress. However, do not let it deter you. It's just because you've not done it before. That is the reason why. So once you're able to do it, move past it, then you'll see that actually every purchase after will be easier, you'll understand more, and actually take on bigger projects and more riskier projects, but have better rewards. So I hope this video has helped if you are a first-time buyer or a first-time investor. So as ever, I always have my free tools in my description and my pinned comment. So if you are looking to buy your first investment property, then you'll definitely benefit from my how to buy your first investment property starter guide, which details step by step what it takes to actually find your first buy-to-let and ensuring that you're not making mistakes that a lot of first-time investors actually do. And also, coupled with that is my deal analysis sheet where you can plug in your numbers, plug in the rent you're going to be receiving, the purchase price of the property, and this will give you your monthly cash flow and your return on investment as well, your ROI, so you can actually assess if it's a good deal or not. And I'm also going to be putting together a how to buy your first residential starter guide. So for those of you that are looking to buy a property to live in, that will then help you as well. And you can use that as a tool and as a template to then actually move forward and actually look for your first residential property. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and if you found value from this video or any other video, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.